This is a News 3 Now special report.
And thanks for watching this special report from Channel 3000.
A federal judge has decided not to postpone Wisconsin's presidential primary, but voters will have more time to file absentee ballots. Democrats and liberal groups had asked U.S. District Judge William Conley to postpone in-person voting for Tuesday's election and extend the deadline for filing absentee. Conley signaled during a court hearing this week that he was uncomfortable overruling state leaders' decision to stick with the election date. But he did order that the deadline for counting absentee ballots be extended by nearly a week to April 13th.
The death toll and number of positive cases of COVID-19 continue to rise. Right now in Wisconsin, 37 people have died from the virus. Over 1,700 have tested positive. But a state health expert says he believes the Wisconsin Safer at Home order is working.
I think what we're doing is working. We still are bracing for the fact that we're going to see more cases. Right now, yesterday we saw 199, today we saw 180 new cases. So we're not seeing a leveling off, but we're also not seeing exponential growth. So I think that's reason to be, to double down and feel confident that we're doing the right things. And that's what the data are showing us.
There are now more than 220,000 confirmed coronavirus cases across the country. New York has the most cases by far, more than 92,000. That state also reported an additional 432 deaths in the last 24 hours, and the governor says the worst is still 1 to 4 weeks away. Paramedics in New York City received new orders. If they cannot revive a patient at the scene, they are not to bring the patient to the hospital. ERs are overwhelmed.
The turnover, someone passes away, all right, get the room clean, next person in immediately. I mean, there's patients sitting in the ER on ventilators waiting to come up.
Louisiana reported more than 2,700 additional cases in the last 24 hours. New Orleans has a higher per capita coronavirus death rate than even New York City, 3 times the rate.
Food and Drug Administration has approved a test that could detect whether an asymptomatic person has been exposed to coronavirus. Meanwhile, the White House continues to discuss other measures to stop the spread, including a limited domestic travel ban.
We look at that literally every day. It really depends on what city you're talking about and from where you are coming. But no decisions have been made about banning travel within the domestic United States.
The President used the Defense Production Act again today to help 6 domestic companies secure the components they need to build more ventilators. And Democrats are pressing the president to open a special enrollment period under the Affordable Care Act exchanges, which would allow those who previously opted out to sign up for health insurance coverage. So far, the administration has refused.
Dozens of cruise ships are lined up in the waters outside Florida. Most are empty with just crew aboard, but some are carrying passengers dead or dying from the coronavirus. The U.S. Coast Guard is now saying the ships will not be given the go-ahead to come ashore and must remain isolated indefinitely. Ships with passengers and crew who are severely ill are being advised to send them to the countries where the vessels are registered. For most of South Florida's cruise ships, that means the Bahamas, where people are still recovering from last year's hurricanes.
And during this public health emergency, city and county officials are stressing that food providers are ready to help.
It's a challenging time. I understand that it can be very difficult for folks to ask for help if you need it, but there are absolutely going to be times when all of us need a helping hand. And it's okay to reach out and ask for that help.
Today, leaders at Second Harvest said their demand has increased tremendously. During these challenges, Dane County Exec Joe Parisi said it's wonderful to see the generosity of neighbors and businesses collaborating to make a difference. He gave an example of Epic supporting the Badger Prairie Needs Network.
Badger Prairie runs an innovative program called Kitchen to Table. They work with local businesses who have cafeterias, and those businesses donate and repackage food for pantries throughout Dane County. And since March 16th, their partnership with Epic Systems has resulted in Epic donating 35,000 grab-and-go meals.
Now, if you're in need of resources, call the United Way's 211 resource line. If you call 211, someone will help connect you with food resources and any other needs you might have.
An auto repair shop in Oregon is doing something good, offering free oil changes for delivery drivers and medical professionals. Gary Willie's Auto and Tire Center is able to give out 3 free oil changes per day, and they are taking extra precautions to keep everyone safe. Appointments are handled over the phone, and they are operating under a no-touch drop-off and pickup system. Customers sanitize their keys when they first come in, and the shop's owner sanitizes the vehicle before employees get inside to do work. Service advisor Tyler Payne says the free oil changes are just a small way they can give back to the community.
So free oil changes for local delivery drivers, and then nurses, doctors, CNAs, anyone in the medical field. We do have a limit per day, and then it is drop-off only, no waiting oil changes or anything like that. But we're still open, supplying service, repairs, tires, whatever you need to important, essential people that still have to go places.
If you're an essential worker who needs an oil change, you are asked to call for an appointment.